Is this man? Is everything dying today? Like, what the heck is this, dude? This is crazy. This freaking these things, dude. Hopefully, this is working. All right, I think this is fine. Everything's working. Okay, I'm just gonna go. If anything bad happens, um, yeah, I don't know what to say about that. Okay, we're just gonna hop right into it. What up, Suns fans? Suns come back from the huge long break, 5 days break, I believe, and they get back into the win column against the Utah Jazz, a very much needed win in our season. Final score: Suns 134 to the Jazz 126. There is so much to talk about that has happened over these last 5 days, and we'll be getting to those in just a second. Oh crap! Wait, I did. Oops, that's my fault.
Kevin Durant delivers. Gorgeous move from Bradley Beal.
Personally, I feel like that brother needed help.
Devin Booker with the clutch three.
Sorry for these technical difficulties. I don't know what it is about today. Maybe it's because today is like is Friday the 13th. I don't know if you looked if you realize that today is Friday the 13th. So spooky coincidences are supposed to happen, and it's already happening for this whole game. ESPN has sucked. If you don't know, a little behind the scenes, I have always used ESPN here to kind of track Suns data and stats during the course of the game, and especially after the game, so I could just have something to go off here. Um, ESPN sucks. It is dying right now. There is not much to be taken from that. So I don't know what's happening to ESPN. A lot of things happened tonight. Okay, but the Suns win. First of all, we're back. So after a long break, 5 day break, the Suns are back, fully healthy, except um, I really don't know where to get into this because there's so much stuff that happened over the break. Um, they could all link to each other. But Suns are, for the first time, mostly healthy, with the exception of one player, which we will talk about more in just a second. But this is finally Suns fully healthy, and we got a win against the Jazz. How did we get that win? It's very much more complicated than that, as this game was freaking terrifying. I'm looking at the box score right now, and Suns almost scored 40 points in two consecutive quarters. 38 in the first and 38 in the second, and the Jazz had 39 in the first. This was a offensive just game. Okay. No defense. No defense was played. I've never heard of the word defense before. I don't know what defense is because I'm a Suns fan. Wow. Hey, say what you want and like be mad that like oh the Suns barely got the win here, which you could technically say we got an 8 point victory margin. And at certain points of this game, the Utah Jazz were able to storm back nearly in the third quarter. They led the first quarter, most of it. So say what you wanted about that and like look at the negative sides of it. But what do you want them to do? I mean, the fact that the Jazz just simply shot the ball crazy tonight. Pulling up the stats on that, they had 22 made threes out of 39 attempts. That is more than half of their attempts going through that net. That is insane. And the way it's I believe it was said on the broadcast, not It's not like the Suns weren't playing defense, like they're just leaving these guys wide open. Most of these were either contested, some of them with a hand in their face, right? These were just crazy shots, and especially by Jordan Clarkson, who kind of stole that first half away, but then just faded during the second half, which we desperately needed. Defense needed to be played, but we all know the saying. I think it's a saying around here that like defense doesn't really matter, um, unless you just have like godly like offense. You know, defense just never matters unless you have godly offense. It barely makes a difference. That's what it was happening with the Jazz. They just blasted us. That first half was freaking crazy. Honestly, from a far span, like a perspective of like a pure basketball, like no sides. This game was art. It was quite beautiful the way each team just couldn't stop each other, and they were just making incredible basketball plays. But luckily, the Suns were able to step up their defense. The Jazz are terrible, and they are 5-19 for a reason, as we gave them 15 turnovers. This is the first game we haven't led in turnovers in quite a long time. So that is something to be happy about, all right? We had 10 steals, 7 blocks, 36 assists. I don't care. A win is a win, and we led in these margins for once. After these days of losing games, all these games without KD, which thank God KD is back. You're right about that, Cooper. Oh my God, it's so nice having KD back, and it's just amazing seeing him play. He was perfect from the line this game, 12 of 12 from the free throw line, and he threw on 30 points. Amazing. Although a little small concerning factor about this is that KD was bleeding a lot through this game. Like the Suns threw in a lot of effort, right? There were several occasions where the game had to be stopped just because pure Suns were there were Suns players that were bleeding, which like only may happen like once like every 5 games. It's not a normal occurrence that NBA players bleed, but I think it just goes to show how hard the Suns were playing tonight. They came out with energy, they came out with just confidence, and they wanted to play basketball after so long, which is just, it's beautiful. It's beautiful after this recent stretch without KD. And Suns basketball is fun again. It's really fun to watch again. Um, so yeah, Royce O'Neal was one of those ones that bled. This game quite literally took blood, sweat, and well, we don't know if tears were involved. Maybe the Jazz side, um, for putting up such a crazy shooting night and not walking away with the win here. I really think the Suns played an overall fantastic game here. It was just that the Jazz, became like Steph Curry. Like they had 7 Steph Currys on their team the whole night. You can't do much about that other than just play your basketball and hope that they just knock themselves out of it, which luckily was what happened. You know, so KD, welcome back. I'm not wearing your jersey tonight, um, because I think the night was stolen by Booker. We've had a lot of complaints about Booker these past few games, but he comes back to Delta Center to claim his part-time ownership of the arena as he gave us 34 points and just amazing shots. I mean, there was a specific shot at the beginning of the quarter. I don't know if most of you guys saw it, but he was just able to hurl it in, and it was beautiful. I've never seen Book make one of those shots, especially this whole season. So the fact that he was hitting those kind of like crazy Hail Mary plays was obviously just more to come, as he did put on offensive masterpiece. Very efficient, 30 points. I don't have the exact numbers because ESPN sucks right now. They're dying. So I don't have the specific shooting numbers for Book, but I'm just saying off of my eye that, Book had a pretty efficient night, and I don't think anyone's going to be arguing on that. All right. So very nice night for book KD. Very nice. Welcome back, guys. Um, we'll I guess we could extend this to our the rest of our starters. I mean, Tyus Jones, another nice night. I've really run out of things to say, nice things to say about Tyus Jones here, because he's just always nice. I have a little something that I want to say about Tyus Jones, but I don't think I'll get into that just yet. But Tyus Jones, 19 points, 11 assists, just very great, and filled in the gaps, especially when offense was starting to run a little bit dry. He was there to able to sprinkle in a couple more threes. Very, very nice. Yusuf Nurkic has also come back from his week-long hiatus. I think most of us Suns fans are glad for that, but he returns otherwise. Oh man, I Nurk's so mixed, man. I like the guy. I like what he does, but like just some nights like this, when you purely look at the stats, it's really hard to defend him. He had 12 points, 7 rebounds. He definitely got better over the course of the game, I would say. He was really crucial. I really liked um most of the plays that he got his points from was like off an assist, and then he does a little bit of this right over someone. Like those were nice and very much needed points to continue this Suns offense. As literally any point that Jazz could have blown up again, and this we could have been singing a very much different song here. Um, so yeah, Yusuf Nurkic, he also had 7 rebounds. Very, very nice. Royce O'Neal also got the start for tonight. He had 17 points, also very good. Yeah, Royce O'Neal over this last stretch has been really good. Just this whole road trip, he's been very, very solid. A lot of complaints about him have been his streakiness on his shooting, but I think he's put up a solid scoring effort over the this Miami game, this Orlando game, and now this Jazz game, which we very much needed for all of those games. Um, I just a few notable players on the bench. Grayson Allen, he did appear. He had some nice minutes, some nice hustle plays. He had also some strange, beautiful offensive plays where he did this freaking like behind the back thing, looking like a Greek fountain, like a marble fountain that you find somewhere. Um, just really bizarre. 8 points though. Didn't really have the best night, but who did have the best night and is probably back and is probably going to be cursed as I say this, but Ryan Dunn, 13 points. Just amazing. He had a crazy block in the beginning half of this game. And offensively, he was able to find himself pretty well. He was he switched a couple threes, were able to do some nice layups, and for gosh sake, he tried to claim a man's life. Uh, there were so many moments during this game that a Suns player had tried to posterize someone, and that list includes Ryan Dunn, Royce O'Neal, and KD twice. So if that also just doesn't show how great Suns were energetically this whole game, uh, it, it 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 shows for itself. Just amazing game from all those players. Those are just the ones I want to mention. The other guys were all right. They served serviceable minutes, although not too anything too eye catching. So that's basically the game. All I have to say about the game. Suns are now 13-11. We finally get the win. Our next game is against Portland, and that will be on quickly checking Sunday. So we have an off day, and then we'll be facing Portland back at home, and that is an Valley night. So we get to wear our sick City Edition jerseys again, which, however you want to look at it, it's fine. But I really love the courts, so that's very nice. Yeah. Take a quick look at the standings here. Suns are in. Actually, wait, hold up. I gotta refresh this because ESPN is dying. Suns are now back in eighth. They are 13-11, still in the play-ins. Hopefully, we just need a run here. I said we could put up a solid run here, like before Christmas. Um, Utah and Portland, those are definitely must wins. Not only are we heavily favored for those games, but also we just need to gain our stride back. Indiana, they're slightly injured and they're kind of mixed, so hopefully that will be a nice a win, maybe. Please, Detroit. I actually looking at my predictions here. It's a full mess because I didn't expect injury to strike again. I put Utah and Portland sandwiched in there. I've sandwiched them between the wrong games, but I think Indiana might be a loss. Detroit should be a win, although they're looking a lot more better this year. But that should be a win otherwise. And hopefully we take the two Denver games. Easy, easy, easy. We could end the year on a nice little run. Actually, the later half after Christmas, post Christmas, that those games are crazy. Dallas, Golden State, Memphis, Indiana again. Actually, Indiana's into January, but Dallas, Golden State, and Memphis. Those are crazy games to end the December on. But yeah, but I think this is now where we talk about the good stuff. Oh boy, this is a serious conversation, boys. All right, let's sit down and let's make this a quick one here. So, this is so fun. This is so fun. Um, over the weekend or over the 5 days, I don't know if you guys have been keeping up much with Sun's social media, but the Suns have been involved with trade rumors around superstar player Jimmy Butler of Miami Heat fame, which we just faced 2 games ago. I think 1 game ago. Um, Very interesting. So, I mean, setting the stage here, right? It was on Twitter, um, where I believe Shams mentioned this. That's the biggest part about this is that Shams, known ESPN, what's his title? Is it just like leaker? It's not leaker, but like reporter, a top ESPN reporter. I believe he was signed with ESPN, but like head guy for all the trade news and just rumors around the league. Made a tweet saying that Jimmy Butler is considering Phoenix as a trade spot. I That's not exactly for word, but you know, Phoenix could end up a trade destination for Jimmy Butler, meaning we could possibly get Jimmy Butler. Oh boy. All right. So let's just get into this. My reaction that the Suns were trading that could be, my reaction when it comes to Jimmy Butler possibly coming here to the Suns, I actually have two reactions to this. One, I have my kind of fanboy kind of like reaction where I really love trade talks. I love that the Suns are having trade rumors. I just love trade deadline stuff in general, and it gets me super excited about changing this team. And it's why I've been advocating that the Suns have been needing a change defensively. This team still sucks defensively. Case in point tonight. Um, Although Jazz was just too offensive, but yeah, I already said that. Um, Suns need to change defensively, and we're looking at trade. We already know there's going to be a trade here somewhere because this team is still not complete, nor does it look like a championship roster, especially after these weeks without KD. A 1-9 record without KD, especially when you have Booker and Beal, is unnecessary. That can't be happening. Um, so obviously there's going to need to be changes. So I'm already excited for that. I'm excited. I'm just waiting. I'm not like a trade machine kind of nerd where like I'm always thinking about where the Suns could push their things. I just generally know the Suns cap situation and their current assets that the Suns could trade. So, I mean, I still know that it's very limited. Um, so there's that side of me where I'm very curious. The just the fact that Jimmy Butler could have a chance. There's a small chance, but there's a freaking chance. It's a small one, but a very slim one. But it's still a chance that Jimmy Butler could be coming here to play as a Sun. Well, who does he place? Well, naturally, most assume Bradley Beal, as that's the only one who could be traded. As we know, his $50 million contract is definitely not reflective of the way he plays here. And we're stuck on that contract for way longer than we want. And Bradley Bill's just always injured. Yeah. I mean, credit to Bradley Bill. I still like what he does on this team. I've had a lot of problems on him during the preseason. I've stated it a lot. You could check back the VODs. But like Bradley Bill, thought he was looking a little rough preseason wise, but he's definitely silenced me as when we started this season. He really fit in, made a lot of clutch plays, and it looked like the big three is back together again. You know, so I really think Bradley Bill's really starting to work on this team. The most questionable part is that he wasn't able to work with Booker alone, and they just continued to struggle. It's definitely not something that should happen, nor should ever happen. So that is a very concerning factor. And there's also the position, just kind of questionableness, where like Book and Bill are both shooting guards, so it's weird having two shooting guards, and then now Tyus Jones on this roster. Like there's just a lot of weird lumps and clumps on the Suns rosters. So I'm saying um Bradley Bill is definitely a little bit of a question mark on this team. But then there's the other side of me. All right, the second side where I am very cautious about this. This is the more like realistic and just kind of, you know, realistic and doubtful side of me, I guess. As you know, it's a very slim margin, okay? Because this Jimmy Butler trade can go a lot of different directions. It's just a fact. I mean, even in the tweet that Shams tweeted about this, is that uh, Jimmy Butler was in consideration for Phoenix. He did consider Phoenix as a destination. Um, but like he also included Houston, Warriors, and Dallas. Those teams have a lot more to offer than what we have here at the Suns. I don't know what those guys have to offer, but I definitely know what the Suns have to offer. And if anything, it's peanut shells compared to what the rest has. So that, and then the Heat would having to be agreeable. Like once you really just look into the details of all of this, it starts becoming more and more unlikely that the Suns would consider this trade. So while we have definitely calmed down, many other Suns kind of like talk heads, I guess you would say, um, have come out saying that Bill uh, could possibly stay with this team because this office believes in this team. I mean, the big three, it's really good. It's just without KD that sucks. And I'm just really caught up on the point of I've been saying we need to be more defensive on on this team. We need a lot more defense. So I mean, getting rid of Bill and then replacing him with Jimmy, I mean, it would solve a lot of issues and make this team slightly better. But I don't know. That's still not like solving the main problem on the Suns, I believe. Like I feel it'd still be trouble defensively. I mean, while it would probably make our starting lineup better, um, the Suns are still pretty short with all their substitution guys. So I don't know. I just generally think Jimmy Butler coming to the Suns is very unlikely. Would I love it to happen? Absolutely. Heck yeah. Um, but as it stands, I just don't. It's not gonna happen, folks. I'm not putting all my chips there. Okay. So that is the Jimmy Butler talks right now. Okay. Would love if it happened, but again, not hope. I don't think it will happen any day here. Um, but for now, the Suns are still the Suns. We have KD back. We need to start winning again. And if it's not Jimmy Butler that we're going to be trading for, we do need just more length, more bigs on this team. Defense is still a huge issue. So I hope we get that ironed out instead of adding another star that could possibly ruin just the chemistry. I'm not saying that Jimmy Butler is like a toxic asset, but like just saying that like we already have so much chemistry between the big three. They have a whole year of experience of playing with each other. I guess Jimmy Butler played in the Olympics with KD one time, but I mean that's really about it. It would take some time to figure out this new system. But yeah, so we will be seeing the Suns and more in just a couple more days against the Portland Trailblazers that just lost as I am speaking right now. They just lost to the San Antonio Spurs. So hopefully that's going to be a let's just hope this is going to be I lost my train of thought. Let's just get back on the winning side things. This Western Conference is still very, very crowded. So we need as many wins as we can. Okay? We come back December 15th against the Portland Trailblazers. So until then, let's get another dub. Take care, everyone. Have a good night. We got the dub. That's all that matters. And if you like this content, please subscribe, like, and comment. We will be back here with more, and we will see you all later. Bye.
Kevin Durant delivers. Gorgeous move from Bradley Beal.